And Inverness Thistle take a stunning lead with a stunning goal. The free kick triggered it all, but what a glorious header from Barry Wілсон. Suddenly all the complaints about the first postponement of this game faded into the heavens, and up there over the moon was the travelling Inverness support. Party on. And yet Celtic applied the brakes to the celebrations within a minute. This was a superbly worked goal, eventually finished by Marku Berchillu with a little help of a break off a defender. In any case, it brought a huge collective sigh of relief from within Parkhead. But the truth is, you ain't seen nothing yet. Sure, Celtic had chances. This again was a fine move, in which Viduka featured prominently. Indeed, had he gone down, he might have persuaded some referees that he had a penalty claim. He went round the goalkeeper, but this shot was cleared off the line. And in any case, Inverness had their own plans to write another chapter in the tale. After this move, with former Celt Charlie Christie pulling the strings, it took a great Johnny Gould save to halt a Teesdale header. Slowly but surely the mood of the Celtic support was changing, and Caley Thistle sensed it. With 24 minutes gone, they won a corner on the right. Gould tried to organise his defence. Totally swung in the corner. Bobby Mann won the header, and Любоміра Моравчика diverted the ball beyond Gould. It was all beginning to register on the Richter scale. To be fair to Celtic, they stepped up the pace. Perhaps they sensed the headlines which await them tomorrow. First, Marku Berchillu nearly produced an equaliser. And then, as Celt stayed patient and played the passing game, Mark Viduka might have produced something. But what a save from Jim Calder. And yet he surpassed even that. Coming up, a fine shot from Stephen Mahey, but somehow the goalkeeper touched it onto the post. Mahey was again involved, but when Berkovic's superb pass put him in, the suggestion from the Inverness players was that the Frenchman had taken a dive. From the corner taken by Blinker, Moravchik had the chance with his trusty left foot, but the story was becoming a familiar one. It has not been Celtic's week. And Oliver Tebele, freed from a compound in the Ivory Coast, could not produce another get-out-of-jail-free card. Celtic in knots at half-time, and the support suspected there may not be a hoot in the act. Little changed after the break. Celtic pushed forward, another chance was created, and Calder, who played as a forward the last time Inverness Caley played at Celtic Park, read the script. This time it was Berchillu who was denied. Viduka was replaced by Ian Wright at half-time, and Inverness were definitely sensing the pressure. But when they made a break, Celtic were up to the counter-attack. Gould with a long throw. Berkovic sets up Moravchik, but he misses the target. But then, like all good fairy tales, there was a twist in the tale. Suddenly Caley Thistle stepped up a gear, and Celtic were ripped apart by some glorious passing. One team was showboating, and it wasn't the multi-million-pound side from the east end of Glasgow. Celtic were being pulled apart, surrendering the ball like they were playing Europe's elite. This little period of action told its own story, and eventually it led to the final nail in the Celtic Cup coffin. Barry Wілson brought down by Reggie Blinker. And Cali Thistle presented with a chance to blow the pre-match forecast sky high. Paul Sheeran takes a penalty. 3-1, and Inverness Caledonian Thistle are in paradise in more ways than one. For Celtic, it was hell. They continued to huff and puff, but they couldn't blow down the hero of the night, goalkeeper Jim Calder. This result will haunt the Parkhead club for years, but tonight belongs to the Highlands.
Given that Celtic hadn't been too convincing of late, I felt what I'd seen in them in the video that they seem to lack direction and leadership, and that's, you know, we've got a good bit of that kind of aspects to the team. And again, you know, you 90% you're thinking, well, you know, we'll just take respectability and come away with our pride intact, and a wee 10% dreams of a result. But you know, these things are, you know, just it's what football's all about, I suppose.
It was all around for Mark McCulloch and man of the match Charlie Christie. Last night's 3-1 victory over Celtic was the biggest shock in more than 30 years of Scottish Cup football. As a former Celtic player, Charlie Christie couldn't hide the pleasure he got in more or less hitting the back of his old club's net.
The goals, I think, were terrific, and to go to Parkhead and score 3 goals says lots to the players and the commitment to the players, and I really think we did the Highlands proud last night.
And today, after 4 hours sleep, the phones haven't stopped at the stadium all day. Calls of congratulations flowing in from as far afield as Singapore. And the overriding feeling? Bring on Aberdeen.
Last night's victory caps a remarkable few years for Caledonian Thistle, born out of the difficult merger between 2 of the Highland capitals' clubs. But the win merely confirmed the optimism of those who put their faith into a unified Inverness team, which could aim for the top in the Scottish game.
Caledonian Thistle's rise to beat Celtic has been nothing short of miraculous, as only 6 years ago they were 2 separate teams fighting it out for the Highland League. Their at times acrimonious merger belied the groundswell of support there was for a unified Inverness side. They entered the league in 1994 with high hopes, but their initial period was a struggle. Old rivalry still existed amongst the fans, and performances on the park failed to live up to early expectations. One early casualty was manager Sergei Baltacha. His failure to win promotion was to cost him his job in May 1995, and Steve Patterson was lured from great success in the Highland League to take over. His impact was almost immediate, and in April 1997 they lifted the 3rd Division title. The building of the Caledonian Stadium was to represent another landmark, as the old grounds at Telford Street and Kings Mills disappeared and the tribal differences faded into the background. Further success was to follow as Patterson began to build a squad capable of taking Cali Thistle to another level in terms of achievement. Last season they won promotion from the 2nd Division to the 1st, and though they struggled initially, they've more than held their own so far this season and lie respectably in mid-table. While off the field the club has had struggles with debt, there's no doubt on the park Caledonian Thistle are finding the right blend. And after victory over one of Scotland's biggest clubs, who knows where the next few seasons will take Steve Patterson's side.